Meanwhile, China is cracking down once again on domestic corporations as well as trading globally. Beijing announcing it will tighten the rules for firms listed overseas, impacting both American and Chinese investors after China announced it is launching a cybersecurity investigation into ride-sharing giant Didi on the heels of its U.S. IPO. The stock is way down from its offering price. It is now down again this morning, another 4.5%, has been losing value ever since going public on the NYSE last week. Joining me right now is a senior fellow at the Gatestone Institute. He is the author of The Great U.S.-China Tech War, author Gordon Chang. Gordon, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. The news is getting worse and worse as it relates to the Chinese Communist Party and its effect across the world. First, give me your thoughts on what took place just now with Didi. This IPO was a disaster, went public, and then China's Communist Party started changing the company's work, trying to change what it was allowed to do and what wasn't allowed to do. Your thoughts? It removed the app as well.
Yes, there's so many wrongdoers here. First of all, the Chinese government waited 2 days after the Wednesday IPO of Didi Global to announce that it was the investigation into the ride-hailing app, as well as to make sure that there were no more downloads of it in China. And really, they could have done this before the IPO. The company itself knew that this was coming. They should have done something. And the U.S. underwriters had to know that this was in the works. You know, China's been very clear. They're trying to prevent information of Chinese companies from being leaked to the outside. And I don't know how you can list Chinese companies in the U.S. or anywhere else outside of China when they have this drive to make sure that you can't look into the workings of the company and the company can't deal with countries outside of it on a normal basis.
You know, I mean, China is also tightening the rules for overseas stock listings. And I wonder what you think about this as we've got so many Wall Street firms getting ready to open up their doors in China with the CCP giving licenses to companies like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, among others. UBS has been there for years. I mean, what should they expect given what has happened to the Ant Group, now Didi? You know, you've got Elon Musk appearing to be cozying up to Beijing as well. Tesla asking the communist government, according to reports, to censor social media attacks on the company as it tries to manage its image on the Chinese market, Gordon.
Yes. Well, with regard to Tesla, they came in with some very naive assumptions. And we saw this with Elon Musk's awful dance in front of that audience in Shanghai last year. Really what they're doing right now is trying to destroy Tesla because they got the technology. They want to share it with Chinese companies. And, you know, Elon Musk will be lucky if he gets away with Tesla being a viable entity outside China. Really what China is trying to do with regard to its crackdown on companies, it really wants them to list on the Chinese markets. And it's got a big issue in Hong Kong right now because it's worried that international firms are going to leave Hong Kong because of the crackdown on information. You can't have an international financial center without a free flow of data and information. And Beijing's working very hard to prevent that free flow with the closure, for instance, of Apple Daily. We're also seeing Hong Kong go after the big tech companies on privacy grounds. And those tech companies said that they're going to leave Hong Kong. And if that happens, that means that Hong Kong will not be that financial center for the world. It will be one for China, but not for the world.
Well, I'd like to see big tech, pushing back on communist China. Now, look what Twitter did, restricting the account of a China scholar who dared to mock Xi Jinping. This is a globally renowned China scholar saying that Twitter temporarily restricted her account after she mocked Chinese President Xi Jinping. The New Zealand academic added Facebook, LinkedIn, Zoom, and other major social media players appearing just as eager to silence critics of the Communist Party dictatorship. So the CCP was celebrating its 100th anniversary last week, and Xi Jinping, as you know, gave a big speech. She mocked it. Two of her tweets were called unavailable on Twitter, Gordon. So what's going on with social media and big tech as they roll over for the CCP? Do they understand who they're in bed with?
Yes, I think they do, and they want access to China, and they're willing to do almost anything to get it. There's been a half-decade campaign on the part of China's Communist Party against Anne-Marie Brady. She's done some groundbreaking work. Fortunately, the international academic community and others have come to her aid, but nonetheless, this is a continuing story. With regard to big tech, you had, for instance, Twitter on October 18th of last year. The European bureau chief of China Daily, Chen Weihua, actually issued a tweet urging Americans to throw petrol bombs on American streets. Well, that's subversion. That's arguably an act of war, and certainly it's a violation of federal law. But that tweet remained up, Maria. And clearly what we have right now is two rules. There's one for the Chinese Communist Party, and there's one for everybody else. And the party rules are so much more favorable.
You're absolutely right, Gordon. I mean, just a few weeks ago, was it the Xinhua News or the Global Times said that the CCP should bomb Australia. Because Australia's government wants answers to the origins of COVID-19. All of this while China is building more than 100 new missile silos in its western desert. It has begun construction of what independent experts say are intercontinental ballistic missiles in a desert near the northwestern city of Yumen, a building spree that could signal a major expansion of nuclear capabilities out of Beijing. You just wonder if social media understands what is taking place. The Chinese Communist Party believes it can acquire and overtake the United States within the next 10 or 15 years.
Yes, that was the Global Times that wrote that article. Global Times is a Communist Party media outlet. And you're referring to the 119 silos in Gansu province, plus they're building another 26. That's 145 in total. They're meant for the DF-41 missile, which has a range of 9,300 miles, which means it can reach any part of the continental United States. Each DF-41 carries 10 warheads. And when you if they fill all of those 145 silos, essentially that will be the same number of nukes as almost the entire U.S. deployed nuke arsenal, because we're limited by our arms control treaties with Russia to 1,550 deployed warheads. So really what we're talking about right now is China not wanting a minimal deterrent, as experts say. What they're looking for is a war-fighting capability. In other words, to use nuclear weapons offensively.
Gordon, it's just an incredible story. We'll keep a spotlight on it. There's a reason we've been so adamant about the CCP and stories around it for several years now. I just wonder why social media doesn't recognize this incredible threat on America. Gordon, it's good to see you. We'll keep following it, and please come back soon.
Thank you, Maria.